Yeah, but the thing is, right, I know that Super Shorty is short, but my thing is that until we see her, like, next to people, you know, in official artwork, we can't tell how short she is. She's probably hilariously short. She probably barely makes 5 feet, if even. But, you know, until we actually see that, we don't get to fully take in how short Super Shorty is. Alright, so, all things considered here, the grinding has done very well, at least for right now, I suppose, and M14 and Lee Enfield are at the level to which we can give them AP rounds. And look at that, we have AP rounds on hand. How convenient. They're not great AP rounds, but they're AP rounds. So what we're gonna do now is actually try and put them through night battles, but we should probably repair 590. But then again, I suppose we should actually run 590 out and then use that repair. Sorry, girl, we're gonna be working you a little hard today. So let's just do this for a couple more rotations and then dump into night battles. Repair her once and then jump into night battles when she can't actually run this mission anymore. Even though I'm most likely going to go in there and it's going to be a horrible time with, well, everyone's going to take damage. Yeah, the guns in proportion to their guns don't always make sense. That's another artist-to-artist thing, really, and that's the one weakness of Girls Frontline. The artists aren't on the same page or cooperating with each other. There's no uniform consistency to this universe. And that results in some wacky creativity, which is good, but unfortunately it also means that the believability of it has also gone out the window. The fun things about these kinds of settings is, like, you could say, oh, in a dystopian future we use android girls with guns to shoot everything. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. And then they go to war with another manufacturer's android girls that have rebelled against humanity. Alright, fine, this all makes sense. And then you see it, and in Girls Frontline it starts to wear a little bit because designs aren't that good. Some of them are really nice, some of them are really bad. Or rather, some of them are lackluster. And some of them aren't necessarily bad or lackluster, but they break the believability, the suspension of disbelief of the other good designs. So that's kind of the issue with Girls Frontlines. It needs a quality pass. IDW's design in itself isn't terribly bad, it's just that the cat memes are overused and they don't make any sense. Design-wise for her character, the art is perfectly fine. It doesn't stick out, really. It's actually a fairly memorable design as it is. But, the fact of the matter is that the cat thing, it's not her thing. It's like fucking 18 other dolls worth of cat things, so she's not really all that special, even though her design is like, one of the better ones out of the bunch, if you just go by pure drawing. So hats off to the artist for that, but the fact of the matter is it's kind of in a big mess of cute girls. 416 and the sister. These are all, you see these things, like 416 and the umps. Them being in Squad 404 aside, their designs are probably one of the better ones in the game. And they're the ones that would get the most screen time in an anime, if that came to pass. Also, Anti-Rain as well. These are all designs that were worked on and actually hammered out to a pretty high level of quality and a somewhat, at least, they're not necessarily consistent with each other on any special level, but at least they don't stick out. They all look kind of acceptable. There will be an anime. Most likely, really. They're making enough fucking money. Like, so, Caligula, right. Mm-hmm. Nice guns. Yeah, Lee Enfield, the problem with Lee Enfield is that the level, not insulting the artist, actually, but the level of quality that her art is in is jarring. Because it's so much better than most of them. So it's not necessarily a bad mark against her, it's just that it's kind of odd. Alright. Support echelon. Right. I'm sitting here debating about, you know, anime girls and quality of artwork, and I'm forgetting what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, Tabasco Dan, you're up. Like, even here. So, on, like, PPK's art is kind of odd, but not necessarily bad, but the level of detail kind of fucks with Scorpion and Sten. Who are kind of on the same level. Bar is a little bit kind of fuzzy, or rather softer with her color palette, but that looks different from Scorpion and Sten. And Galil, honestly, I'd say that Galil's design is under-designed. She could use more detailed artwork. But you see, this is the kind of mishmashing that we got going on here. Or the kind of mishmashing that we've got going on here. Which is par for the course, really, with these games, because, well, wait, didn't I deploy Tabasco Dan beforehand? What happened here? Right, I hit cancel. Oh, I did that. Good lord. I should stop criticizing anime and, you know, artist quality while I'm trying to play the video game and forgetting how to play the fucking video game. But I suppose this is all par for the course, really, in terms of what we're doing here, because this is how you make designs in these kinds of games. You basically just tell an artist to draw a cute girl, and then they draw a cute girl based on said gun, whatever one you wanted, and then that's it. It's very low substance like that. Even Cancali's guilty of that kind of low subsistency, because that's how they got the idea in the first place. It's not a bad thing. It actually leads to some creativity when you start to, you know, you start to back off of that sort of thing. We start to, well, you had to go pretty far in order to get their anime girls, but their representations of the things, like the boats, or the tanks, or the guns. But then again, they're not necessarily representations of the guns in Girls Frontline, they're just android designs with the guns. So that's a little bit easier on the senses, I suppose. So, that in itself is fine, but when you start to, like, it all comes down to, you know, the artists being on the same page, and with Girls Frontline and Azur Lane as well, they're not. It's fairly obvious that they're not. So there's, even when you're not taking it seriously, there's a level of seriousness that you actually have to have in order to make it good, not serious fun. Or else you wind up with something like Darling in the Franxx at the end of the day, which is too obsessed with making dumb jokes. Which are funny, but then you realize that the anime is kind of shoddy because of its writing. My favorite hobby is trying to figure out what the hell the robot girls were initially designed to do. Well, Fridge, if you look at the deepest lore, they were designed as replacements for humans, basically, but they weren't exactly anime girls at that point. You see, that's another thing. Hame-kun, that's a good point. Shotguns do actually have a consistency to them, aside from Captain China. They have the wingy shield bits, which is nice, but they're like the only ones that actually have that sort of thing. And then there's 5-7 with her, like, white hair and, like, star thing. Like, she's got a hairpin, and then, like, PSG-1 also has the same hairpin. And I think it's done by the same artist, so... and there's also one other doll that's a rifle ballista that basically looks like 5-7 but a rifle. That one artist has his own internal consistency, and it makes sense. But... that doesn't extend to literally everyone else. Alright, so El Camote. Here you go. Nice NTW-20. This is a 3-rifle team. Who's the tank, though? Sir, who's your tank? This squad better be based around basically obliterating everything before it actually gets a chance to damage anything. Or I am concerned, sir. Yes, a dancing fool, that's exactly right. Some of the actual artists have consistency about how they draw gun girls. It's just that between those artists, there's no consistency at all. Lee Enfield's already at level 30. Damn, girl. And also, it seems as though that the rifles are starting to overtake 590 in terms of damage. Good on you, girls. Consistently, at least. Okay, 590 has in fact lost a single dummy. Accuracy makes all the difference. Yeah, this is why we're making them for night battles. That is my phone. Who's calling me? No one. Telemarketers. Not interested! Playing anime girls on stream. I'm not interested in anything that you're selling unless it's anime titty. I'm a connoisseur, sir. I am an upstanding gentleman. Springfield has that turn-of-the-century America thing going on. Kankali also does that as well, and I'm not exactly a massive fan of that one, but then you have Iowa, who just kind of completely avoided that. So every other American blow is basically just like turn-of-the-century sweetheart. Ugg Evans, sir, yes, good. Right, rifle squad as well. Or rather, assault rifle hybrid squad. Scorpion's doing a lot of work back there. Springfield does bake pies in a little story. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Springfield does look like the kind of person that bakes pies. That's in her design. That's at least good characterization from the design. Springfield's another design that is pretty okay, if a bit overly detailed. Because, really, then you gotta start, you know, debating why the fuck a company in, like, the 2050s is making, like, guns from the 1900s. And then you gotta think about why are they wearing all of these dresses to begin with? Though I suppose that comes down to Kryuger, like Mr. Kryuger basically decreeing that all the dolls can pick their own fucking clothes, unless we give them clothes and then they're forced to wear what we want them to wear. You know, case in point, Bart's bunny costume right in front of you. But then you just gotta wonder, why exactly do they have all of these guns? Why are they making these types of guns? Why make a 100% legit fucking Prohibition era Thompson gun? Bonnie seems to be doing fine, but yeah, this is, and also, again, Bar herself. This question will never be answered, and it's basically just because it makes for an interesting game or a large wealth of guns. And I suppose at the timeline, you'd probably, with the timeline, you'd only get guns like 416 or future shit. Even though, you know, I want me that XM29. I want it. I need Rhodesian Bush War 3 Clear Jubilee. But there's a lot of there's a lot of low substance stuff in here that could be done better, and I think everybody actually acknowledges that. And I think playing these games comes with you acknowledge the fact that the setup is kind of silly. At the end of the day, you're playing anime girls, but guns, or you're playing Azure Lane and you're playing anime girls but boats. At the end of the day, you know, in order to play these games with a smile on your face or actually feel like you're having fun, you do have to accept that. And some people, at least like, let's say the Kankali fandom, which is pretty much the high point of the entire fucking Kankali experience, really. Just the fan art and the 4-comas and the dojins and the non-pornographic dojins. Those are well done, and those, you know, those artists and writers that, you know, make those are, well, they're invested, and they go a long way with actually making the kind of insane elements of these worlds and these stories better. I suppose an even bigger example than just these games is fucking Touhou. Those people just made shit out of thin air. Springfield being a blocker up there is actually kind of starting to, like, nick at her health a little bit. We might have to worry about that. Eric Carver, I think we'd all like an Abyssal game. Casual reminder that in my headcanon, the Abyssal fleet is still the undead American Navy. Iowa's a lie. Touhou is one dude. No, I mean the fandom, Verado, you genius. Yeah, you look at Touhou, and you look at them, and then you look at what the fans are doing. By the way, Ilya, you're up. You look at what the fans are doing, and they're all off in their own little world with the most scarcest of details. It's a bullet hell game. And you know, the way that these people write about it, it makes it look like a fucking RPG. And yes, that's true. Through everything, Toho does have canon. Does have its own canon, and it is detailed in itself. But the fandom just kind of takes that and blows it out into space. You could take a can of energy. A can of energy drink and turn it into anything. Yes, these magicians. This is what happens when you dedicate your life to a bullet hell game. This is entirely true, Verado. It does have a plot line. The issue is, it's good plot line, I suppose. It's acceptable. It's acceptable, but it doesn't really get over the whole problem that, you know, the girl designs and the logic behind the designs is somewhat paper thin. But again, you had to accept this in order to download this game and play this. And thank you for resubscribing, Mogami Class. Yes, it's been 6 months. It has been 6 months since Big Week. Let that sink in. 6 months. And yeah, Girls Frontline itself is a perfectly fine game, really. It's got a good direction on it, and, you know, it looks like it's going to be fairly successful in the American market, or the international market in general. So, hats off to them. It's just that there are still things that you could sit there and think, you know, this could be better. Bakery Girls Remaster. Oh, right, yeah, right. The thing that sets up the entire world. Right. I have no idea what that game is, but just judging from the title, it's probably not anything that should be connected with this game, but is for some reason. Kankali is still getting dojins because people still like that anime titty, yo. That's exactly why it still gets dojins. Monroe, you're up. And that's also, that's another thing of why good designs, you know, are a good thing. It's another point for having good designs in these sorts of games. Kankali is still getting dojins. Why? Because people like the designs. People like drawing the ship girls. Why? Because the designs are good. So if you're gonna make one of these games, you better have damn good designs, or everyone's just gonna, well, it's probably gonna drag the entire game down, no matter how much gameplay there is. Or rather, well, they're most likely going to try and change the designs themselves. Or you might get one of those wacky situations where if your designs are bad, but the game itself is still good, you might have artists and writers just kind of come in and try and, like, play it straight. And then you start to get really odd, memorable things. So, a MOBA G, you know, it opens the door for a lot of things. And you could, you know, it'd be nice to have all of this stuff in the game itself, but, well, it's a mobile game at the end of the day. That's another thing you have to accept. But, you know, a lot of really amazing shit comes out of these kinds of mobile games. It's purely down to people just liking anime titty. Really, at the end of the day, that's about it. Like, even if you're the most upstanding, devout person that, you know, takes everything on critical merit, you get, at some level, you have to admit that the main reason why people playing these games is because they like anime girls. There's nothing wrong with that, it's just that that's the reason. Go Springfield, or rather, Leanfield goalie. Wrong gun. Right arrow, wrong gun. I'm too used to having Springfield in my echelons. This is the first time I actually got Leanfield, so I have to get used to that. And also, Leanfield's losing her damage crown because she has to waste time blocking. Fuck. But you do it, girl. You do it for England. Why does MP5 exist? For some people who like that type of anime girl. But remember, we don't talk about that, or Super Shorty will drag you off to lolicon jail. You could have a serious conversation on why the small girls exist, and, well, the serious conversation is that they may be frowned upon in America and, you know, most Western countries. However, in other parts of the world, small girl isn't really that bad to sexualize. Not saying for or against here, but that's the reason why you still get those designs. And that's the intelligent, that's basically about, I suppose, the, in the vein of being the intelligent reason. Also, Mark 23, when did you take so much fucking damage? Also, yes, MP5s also exist to eat your heavy construction. The sadistic little demon. Wakizashi. Right. I had to think about how to pronounce that again, but the general idea is 2 to 3 letters a syllable for weeb names. Prepare thyself for your gift. Gift? What is gift? Shivaxi, what are you doing? Oh my god, the man actually do- Thank you for subscribing, Shivaxi. And yes, this is a Chinese game. This is quite like Azur Lane, a Chinese knockoff of Kankali's success. That's not insulting the game, that's just where it came from, honestly, because there's a lot of Kankali in here and it's quite obvious. You see, Shivaxi is also a man of taste. He also comes to watch anime girls. Two-hand army. Well, at least it's not one-hand army, right? Nice Vector. I'm surprised I haven't gotten Vector yet. Vector's apparently fairly common, but I haven't gotten any luck. I want that flaming Molotov for night battles. I want to light up the night. I want to blast Proto-Men. Yeah, exactly. Except unlike Kankali, they actually released this one over here. Yeah, you notice that? How Girls Frontline and Azur Lane have released EN versions and Kankali is still sitting on its ass? Yeah, that's how you know that these games might actually overtake Kankali if things keep going this way, and if Kankali doesn't get off its ass and do something soon, it's most likely going to be forgotten. And that's kind of disappointing, but that's the way things goes. That's the way things go. You either advance, or you die. And these games are certainly advancing, and I think that Girls Frontline's probably making enough money to warrant what's going on. you know, the warrant, you know, entering the international market, even if the censored art is kind of, in some cases, a little bit odd. But anyway, this is Echelon 6. We need to put them on a different mission. Yeah, change is good. Sometimes. They changed the guns because the boat market was a bit oversaturated. Yeah, it is. Really, that's just kind of the idea. You see the idea, honestly. You see Cancali, it starts its boat girls, but anime girls. And then you have Azur Lane and other, you know, there's a lot of other copies of Cancali. And then you branch out into other things. And this is about girls with guns. So, it's you know, a further extension of the concept. But yeah, now everybody needs to get fixed here. So we actually might wind up spending those instant repair tickets, which is kind of unfortunate, but these guys probably shouldn't. An hour? Do something with the arcade engine for Cancali later, but it's kind of dead news right now. Yeah, the Cancali arcade game would actually probably make a pretty good release, but there was also that PSP game as well. Cancali is kind of just resting on its laurels pretty hard, and you can see it clearly. But, well, if it doesn't get off its ass, it's gonna get left behind by all the, you know, the Chinese games that are coming out that are basically doing what it did, but with gameplay. Japs hate money. Apparently so, but Type Moon got its, you know, Type Moon got its shit together and released not Girls Frontline, Fake Grand Order in, you know, for international release, and that's doing perfectly fine. They, you know, from what they were posting from Anime Expo, they actually, you know, they had a pretty good turnout. Girls Frontline also had a pretty good turnout too. Apparently about 4,000 people visited their booth. So, yeah. These games are popular. But once again, if the people behind Cancali are, if they don't seem terribly enthused about, you know, actually entering the international market, well, you better hope that they either have amazing fucking ideas that keep their player base playing, or, you know, have amazing ideas for other games, because they ain't gonna get anything else if they just stay there. But then again, they might have enough money by now that they could sit there and do whatever. Speaking of dead news, Ace Combat 7, release date when? Yeah, release date unknown. Did anyone see that? Have I missed anything about that? And also, sorry about delaying the Summer of Angels, guys. We ran into some problems. Or rather, I ran into some problems. Shiv actually did help me, though. However, what we found was kind of worrying. The converter is not liking Elgato, or rather the internal capture card, and I tried everything, including just separating both of them. Or rather, separating them from everything but each other. And, it still doesn't work. The audio is still down pitch, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. There's a GF404 clan in Armored Warfare. In Armored Warfare, of all things?! No Vaporwave Ace Combat memes. You know, I would Vaporwave Angus Day, but, you know, I kind of want it to have some quality to it. I don't know, really. It's just not, part of me says fuck it, go do it, but also it's not going to be that great with the audio down pitch and people are going to notice. It's not going to be the same. But, right, what else did I want to do here? Alright, the 6th echelon. We need to put them on something that gives us repair tickets. Alright, so that's all the way up there, but Chapter 1 for 1 hour. 28% great success rate. That's 37. Good lord. Even without the shotgun. Well, good for you. Good job on that WA. But I suppose the great success rate gives us the repair ticket, so I suppose we probably should send this echelon out. They don't need 590 for the moment. She's busy corpse ragging. She's busy being everybody's, best gym buddy. I arrive to find Fonto has actually has ammo. That's because I've been running logistics in order to satisfy the titty summer events. But yeah, that's a lot of fucking ammo. But let's see here. Actually, I think I'm gonna take a break for a moment, but obviously we're gonna have to spend a repair ticket on 590, so we're gonna do that. Actually, but, you know, in the meantime, for all these other girls, I'm gonna actually take a break for 1 second and actually go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back here. So we have some time to let these run out for at least just a little bit. Be right back, folks.